everybody. Welcome to another episode of TalktoTat, real people, real talk, real life. It is your lovely host once again, Tatyana Monee. Just checking in, hoping that everybody had a really good week/weekend. I know I'm a little late, a day and a half late dropping this episode, and that's because your girl was celebrating her 32nd birthday. Made it to my 32. What about you? It's a blessing. It really is to be in the land of the living and to just have another year to get some stuff done, work on me, and try to get this dream thing going. So that brings me to what I wanted to talk about this week, because I've had some situations that have popped up more often than not within the past couple years, and it compelled me to put this topic out here, and that's what's up with your adult friends. I don't know if it's me, and I know it's not, because I already have asked. I'm that type of person that I always put it out there first, like as a question, and I'm checking the temperature to see what other people are going through, and not just in my own area or within inside of my own circle. I like to talk to strangers too, within reason, but I say all that to say, what is up with your adult friends, friend? Let me tell you what's going on with mine. And I mean by that, the complications of having adult friends. It's something that I think it's a growing thing now because of what everybody else is going through simultaneously, whether it's your goals, your problems, you name it. But to step outside, for instance, as a female in Atlanta and try to find a group of reliable female friends, it's been complicated for me over the years as an adult, like after college, because I don't know if it's something in the temperature, the water, the air, I don't know, the climate, I don't know. But women have been so weird lately. It's almost like you cannot trust them. And I'm talking about new people, not the people that you're already you already acclimated with. They know you, you know them, y'all got history, boom. I'm talking about, I'm a fresh adult, and these are the people that I'm running into, whether it's at work, in public, by way of another person that you know. But having an adult friend or finding an adult friend nowadays has really been complicated, and it's also been very frustrating. And I say that because you are not supposed to struggle so much to get to know people who at this point since high school, you would think that they've learned a little bit more about themselves. It's safe to say that, right? Because we're not in high school anymore, and you have graduated from a lot of things. Hence the point where the distinction that you don't have a curfew, you ain't living with your parents, you are out of school. If you went to school, you working, you're an adult that contributes to society. So you should have learned a little bit to be able to assimilate and just be around people more and know how to act accordingly. Yet no, these girls out here are weird. You can't trust them. Prime example, because a lot of people in my life have been moving away, or they now have jobs that are really time consuming, or they have kids or a husband, and they just don't balance the social life part anymore. They don't factor it in. So I'm like, okay, I want, my mom and I were talking. She was like, you ain't got no adult friends. All your friends are off the strength of you going to college, or if you met somebody or whatever, like randomly, from one of your organizations. And I'm like, you're right, sis. You're absolutely right. So how can I change that if I want to go outside, but I don't want to have to always go outside by myself? I started looking on Facebook, trying to find like-minded groups of women to hang out with, and some are more responsive than others as far as these Facebook groups. So for instance, if anybody is interested in doing that, what groups I chose to look into are groups where people are doing things that I like to do, like content creators, since I like to create content and put that out there, women who are single, women who own businesses, like things of that nature. So if you're interested in doing that, there are groups out there pertinent to your area. I will say one of my best friends in particular, her success has been a lot more evident and consistent than mine has been. She's in Chicago and she's a YouTuber. You know, shout out to my bestie. I don't know if people want names and stuff out there just yet. So, you know, once I talk to my friends and stuff like that, I'm like, y'all want me to name y'all? Then I will. But she's a content creator, and her YouTube friends hang out all the time. They do things together. You know, they share ideas and they help each other build their businesses while they building their friendship. Yeah, it's desert dry over here. It ain't happening. You know, we always try to plan something and then the plans don't come to fruition. So I say that to say, my one good example off of this was I tried to hang out with this one girl. I'm not gonna name her because we're not doing that. We're not here to blame or shame nobody, but I am gonna share with you my experience and why I was like, I'm gonna have to find another avenue. I ain't gonna base everything off this person, but this was something that put a bad taste in my mouth. So me and the girl were a part of the same Facebook group. We agreed to meet with each other, and it was in a safe space, you know, common outside place. That way, you know, you feel good about this, I feel good about this. And there were just so many stipulations to getting her to hang out with me. What I mean by that is, you wanted to start hanging out at 10 p.m. Okay, baby. I'm in my 30s. So if I'm not doing anything by like 8 or 9 o'clock, I start getting the itis. And if anybody know Tatyana, when I'm getting the itis or I'm idle, I'm going to sleep. So I'm not going to sit around here the whole day or change my nap schedule. Don't act like y'all don't have one. Change my nap schedule just so I can hang out with this new individual. So I tried to ask her, hey, what about 9? It's a really good give and take, right? It's still kind of late in the evening. I get it, because you may be getting off work or certain club atmospheres and stuff may be turning up, you know, after a certain time. Like, I get all of that. My thing is this here. If this is my first time getting to know you, I don't want to come into somewhere where it's already loud. We can't even have like a quick conversation to get acclimated, to figure out a little bit more of each other, just to see, like, do I want to continue the night hanging out with this person? That's where I'm thinking. If I'm wrong, hey, I don't care. That was my thought process. So she was like, 9 is too early. I'm like, okay. All right, I'm trying to learn how to, you know, with this whole grace thing and being open to stuff. So I'm like, okay, because most people who know me know Tati be setting her way. Like, if I'm concrete on something, I'm concrete on it. That's it, you know. But this is one of those times where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be impartial. That's my word. I'm gonna be impartial, and I'm gonna go ahead and do something a little bit different. Cool. You know, I'm not in Chicago no more, so I can't treat this like a Chicago situation. All right. We agreed at 10 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, what place are we going to? She named some places. And I'm like, all those places, you got bills before you even start enjoying the night. You got to pay for parking, pay for entry. You got a spending minimum and all this other type of stuff. And I'm like, I'm not finna go through that to hang out with this person for the first time when I don't even know how the night is finna go. Like, I'm a numbers person. I'm a sense analytical person. So if I'm already taking a lot to do this, the reward needs to be even greater. It can't, no, the risk cannot outweigh the reward. It can't, because no, why? No, not with something like this. No. So, and I don't even know you. It's not like, you know, this is a awesome networking opportunity because I realized the things that we have in common. It's like, no, part of her page was private. So it's like, there was only so much that I could see to even know, like, where's the gain is this, you know, where's the gain at with this? So anyway, then I got invited. In the midst of that, I got invited to a birthday party, and I'm like, okay, how about, since she want to go out late, my people be out late. And when I found out about the party, I let her know immediately, hey, look, do you want to go? She was like, well, no, because it's like, I sent her the address to the place, and she was like, it's further out. It's like 30 whatever minutes away from me. I said, it's 45 minutes away from me. And the place, mind you, the place that she selected to go to, that we could meet in the middle on, as far as it being free to get in and free parking, 15 minutes from her house. It was 25 minutes away from my house. So I'm like, okay, I'm driving further than you regardless, never said anything because I don't care about that. I care about why not, you know, keep a coin. We don't have to break the bank and hang out for the first time. It's not like me and you know each other and I'm cool with breaking bread with you. You don't break bread with everybody. You know what I mean? This is us getting to know each other. But here it is. You already trying to make things like about you when I'm thinking about the both of us. Like, what if we don't enjoy this night and we done stayed out, we left out to start the night so late? It's like, oh, the rest of the night is ruined. I'm thinking if we go out just 1 hour earlier in a spot that's feasible for both of us to meet at, and we're not coming out our pocket with a bunch of stuff, if the night don't go that well because like our vibes may be different or something like that, you still got time to go and enjoy your night elsewhere with somebody else. You know what I mean? That's the type of time that I was thinking about. Anyway, whatever. So I'm like, okay, you don't want to go because it's too far. But I already am driving out farther than you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a person that likes to compromise when necessary. But when somebody's already showing me that they just kind of want things their way without really being understanding or open to meeting me halfway, that's a turn off for me. I've learned that about myself being on my own for this long. And so I'm like, all right, we're not going in my mind, I already wrote it off. I was like, okay. And so I was like, well, you know what? Because I'm a person of my word. I'm going to hang out with you for a little bit. And then I'll just go hang out with my people since you don't want to come. You know what I mean? Because they would take care of us, you know, whatever. Hey, it's cool. She was like, you know what? No, just go enjoy the whole night with your friends. All right. She invites me out the following weekend. And then I'm like, hey, just letting you know, if we pick a place, I need it to be fair for the both of us. Since distance is a thing for you, let's pick a place that is a feasible distance for the both of us, since distance is a thing for you. And if you are putting that stipulation out there that you don't want to travel that far, then I'm going to be on the same page. I'm going to meet you where you at. I don't want to have to travel this far. Like, at this point, you created a boundary. I'm matching, right? Okay. Shawty got mad and was like, oh, you wanted to go out with your friends. And I'm like, you switched at the last minute and blah, 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 blah. And I don't even know your people. So that's why I didn't want to go out with you. And I'm like, so why didn't you say that? You're telling me that because I'm trying to match your speed, that's nonsensical, but you lied. I asked you, you said something else, and then now you saying something. I told her what I needed to tell her and I blocked her. And I saw those little dots in the Facebook Messenger attempting to write me back, and nah. Fingers of fury. You weren't going to get in, sis. So have a good one on that. So that's one way that I'm like, people are really weird. Like, you automatically coming out selfish. Like, people supposed to do something for you or owe you something, where I'm coming off the strength of, let's do something that makes sense to both of us, kind of wade in the water, get our feet wet a little bit. That way, it's not as much of a risk for either of us. That's the type of person that I am. Like, what's the smoothest way to get things going? I don't know if people are being raised in barns, and I'm not saying that in a bad way about older generations because they really were raised in barns. I'm talking about newer generations because it ain't no barns like that. Like, we ain't all growing up on farms in barns under bridges and stuff like that. So where were you raised? How were you raised? And then lead out with your intentions, because that was my main thing. I spoke on what I needed to make me feel comfortable with consideration to this other person up front. I didn't switch or flake up on none of what I said. If anything, I matched this person. So when I pull a you on you and you can't handle it, how's that something that's a bad reflection on me? That was a sign. I said, okay, but did I chalk it up to everything? No. Okay. I hung out with somebody off the strength of someone else. At this time, I had a different vehicle, right? The girl got in my car. She can't handle her liquor. All right. I'm not saying that I can't be your friend if you can't handle liquor, but I'm going to try not to get you as lit or let you get yourself lit if you can't handle yourself and I got to sit here and play babysitter, because I don't want to. Like, naturally, by default, I be the most sober person, because if I consume too much liquor, I'll get sick. Like, that's just how my body is. So I'm okay with that. But do I want to label myself up front as the designated driver when I want to have some fun? You know what I mean? No. If I want to be outside and get, like comfortable and be in the moment like y'all, I want to have my moment too. I want the choice. Okay. So this girl that I met off the strength of a really good friend of mine, he introduced me to her. He was like, Tat, she cool people. I think you guys will get along well because, y'all styles are kind of alike when it comes to like meeting people and socializing. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna give it a try. We get in the car. Baby girl didn't know how to hold her liquor. She was struggling to put her makeup on. The night just got started, mind you. Okay. She had lipstick in her hand and the lipstick decorated the top of my vehicle. I'm like, if y'all would have seen my face while I was driving, I'm like, oh yeah, shawty, I want to hit her. I want to hit her. And it's not because, oh yeah, accidents happen. No, I get that. But this is how you're already starting the night off. Tagging the inside of my daggone car with your lipstick. You can't hold your liquor. You like, oh girl. And I'm like, yeah, this is my first time out in a while because of my kids. And I'm like, is this what they do? That better not be me when I have kids and this is my first night out and I'm already getting drunk around this person that I barely even know and I'm decorating their car with my makeup. Okay. All right. So that was just the first little thing. All right. We go somewhere. These are places that she's naming because she be outside more than I do. Every time we get somewhere after a few minutes, I'm ready to go. This ain't no bar crawl. We didn't sign up for a bar crawl. Why are we hopping around like gypsies from place to place? First of all, I drove. You ain't offering no gas. Weird. Okay. I'm like, you know what, Ty? Maybe this is how they are. This is an Atlanta native. This person is. I don't know what the other girl from Facebook, where she was from, because we didn't get that far. Great. She's an Atlanta born and raised person. So I'm like, is this what they do out here? I don't know. So then we get to this last spot. One of my good buddies, she is in the same dance organization that I'm in, and it's House Arrest 2 Championship Dance Team Incorporated. And so she hosts. And so we went to it was called Cirque. Cafe Cirque. If you're in Atlanta, it's not the one that looks like the circus tent with the big white whatevers. It's over there by Rocksteady. So my girl was hosting over there, and one of my other friends was in town that had recently moved to Miami. So it's like a slight little link. You know what I mean? We having fun and everything, and then baby girl get there. She's stumbling and fumbling all over the floor, and everybody looking at me because she came with me. They're like, Ty, she going like walking up into other people's sections, talking to them, like dancing on people, and it wasn't where it was welcomed. I'm playing babysitter. I didn't come outside the house with kids. I don't want to be outside with kids. I don't want to bring kids home. Not unless they're mine, and there's no buns in my oven. The oven ain't even on. So I'm like, why? First night. I'm like, all right. I told my friend, don't ever recommend nobody for me to hang out with again, because I understand y'all think about things a certain type of way. Let me vet that person so I can be able to say, okay, all right. But thank you for the try though. All right. So cross that off. No Facebook, no friend off the strength of a male friend. Okay, got it. Now, people from work. No, the politics behind that is ridiculous. I don't know if it's because most of the work settings that I have been in, I have been either the only black girl, the only person with no kids that has never been married. I don't know what it is. But here's my thing. If I'm in this industry and my title outrank yours, it don't really matter what my background is. If we have a good vibe, come on, let's get going with that vibe. You know what I mean? But when it comes to trying to find friends at work, the politics behind it can be so catty for women, especially when you're in a small, tight-knit setting, like a office or something like that, or like a call center, whatever. Women can be very tit for tat and very just emotional for no reason. Like, what are you doing with yourself to make you comfortable showing up at work like that every day and thinking that people really gonna want to hang out with you? You know, it got to the point where I didn't want to do certain things, like with the work cohort. Like, I don't want to eat lunch with y'all. I don't want to go to after hours drinks with y'all. I don't want to participate in this work event because you already showing me, I don't want to say disloyalty, like you owe me something, but just off rip from human being to human being, you're already showing me that I can't trust you. There's something very shysty about you, and I don't want no squares in my circle. That's my free time. That's my disposable income category on how I want to, you know, utilize my funds to have something to do. I don't want to do that. I don't want to buy no drink with you. I don't want to eat with you. That's my comfort. That's my solace. And I don't want to disrupt or interrupt that with somebody who's disingenuous and they're just here for the drama. I survived high school in the South Chicagoland suburbs for a reason. Yeah, my high school was like in the hood part of the suburbs, if that makes any type of sense. Like, it was everybody who could be ghetto that left the city moved to certain parts of the South Chicagoland suburbs, and I went to one of the rough ones. Yeah, so if anybody went to Bloom High School, you already know, like, yeah, we in the suburbs, but it was like city kids going there. And a lot of it was because a lot of city kids went to that school. So fights, most people, you didn't graduate without getting into a fight. Tatyana, Monee included. Multiple fights. So it's not uncommon to be like, yeah, I know what drama looks like with females. I know what this could turn into. This is something that I have outgrown. And unless I have to, I don't feel like fighting. So unless you put your hands on me, I'm not in the mood to fight. But watch your mouth. And granted, I know it's not what you are called, it's what you answer to. But people down here in Atlanta specifically are so quick and comfortable to try to say or do things to violate you and to poke at you. It's like, oh, you must have forgot where I was. This says Chicago attitude, just in case this don't flip back. I'm still from Chicago. Whether it's the suburbs or not, it don't matter. We up north. We got that that whole demeanor disposition is not something that's spoken with empty words. Try me. But then I be having to remember the words of my mom. Arrive alive, T, arrive alive. And I'm like, I'm tired of having restraint with these heifers. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of y'all. So that, finding people at work to be friends with, you know, it's too many politics. It's too many reasons and ways that they try to separate you from other people unjustifiably. I ain't got time for that. Meeting new people and becoming friends with them, it should be something that's very organic. It should be very nurturing. It should be exciting. It should be something that wakes you up and motivates you to want to get more, not to repel yourself against it. At least that's what's been the experience for me, meeting my friends when I was younger. Why can't that apply to adulthood too? You know what I mean? And next point, meeting people off the strength of the organizations that you're in. I'm in quite a few organizations. One organization I was a part of through college, another organization I joined, I became Easter Star in adulthood, right? I'm thankful for the chapter that I'm in because we have a different type of sisterhood where there's a certain type of respect level, right? But even within that, I am literally the youngest member. And so sometimes it's hard for me to navigate having more in-depth relationships with people who have already been there, done that. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but when you're trying to find adult friends, not, oh, big sister, little sister, but legit, like, this is my friend as well. Like, we are in communication with each other on a regular basis. We hang out with each other outside of what we do as an organization. You know, sometimes that can be a struggle for me because I'm younger. They call me like they baby, you know what I mean? Which I don't take offense to that at all. I know that I am more rambunctious, if that's a good word to use. I'm a lot more energetic. I'm a lot feistier. Like, when you get older, naturally certain things about your behavior and your mood and stuff tend to settle or calm itself out, because like how some of my sisters would say, like, I didn't drag girls back in my day. I didn't went through this or that. So they've gone through these parts that I haven't gone through yet. So even though, like, there's nothing but love there, who you identify with and who you want to spend more of your day-to-day with can often be with people who have already kind of been through what you have gone through. And I understand that. It still can be an isolating feeling, though, because I'm the youngest one. There's no one else in my age range. Like, period. I'm the youngest one. So even though in a way it kind of matures me even more to be around women that are older than me and I can learn a lot from them, sometimes it can still feel kind of lonely when, again, I don't have kids. I'm not married. You know what I mean? And on top of that, I'm younger than everybody. So it's like, okay, well, I want my buddy, you know? And I'll also say too, trying to maintain adult relationships out of state can have its strains. And I say that because all of my female best friends do not live in Georgia at all. Absolutely none of them. And I'm not taking away from people who are like sisters to me and stuff like that. But like between, you know, Chicago and Miami, they're not here. So me wanting to just get up and go out real quick, like, hey sis, let's meet up and let's go here or there, or come on bestie, let's go out and do this. It's like, it's so hard. It's so hard. And it's not that I don't have my best friends. Proximity is the issue. Yeah, you got video, or we could get in a car and drive wherever, or board a flight and go do whatever. But when people are that far away from you, where it is an extended period of travel time, it's completely different than somebody being in the same city as you, where on a whim you can get up and go somewhere. I'm accustomed to that. I'm accustomed to having accessibility to one of my best friends and vice versa, where it's like, I'm cooking today, come over. Or I feel like going shopping to pick out an outfit for this, come over. I don't have that. So finding an adult friend now is even more key, especially off the strength of I've lost a lot of people, whether it be due to death or, like how I stated earlier in the episode, you know, people's jobs consuming them even more, people navigating into their individual families, like now they got a man, now they got kids, you know, whatever. And those are all beautiful things. I love that we are growing. But when you are shifting into this part of adulthood, you really get to see who's really there for you as far as adult friends. And this will be a slight tangent for a second. The people who really care about you will find ways to show up for you even when it's not in person. And I will say that me being away from my best friends and us still being able to have regular conversation on a daily or weekly basis is such a beautiful thing. It helps recalibrate me, because those relationships are different than ones you may have with a significant other, a parent, a sibling, whatever. They're completely different. Like, you got different levels and layers to you that certain groups of people unlock. Let's say that it's a fair statement. Everybody has it. And with your best friends, those are the people that, you know, you could break with. You could be very unconditionally candid with, or at least you should. I know that's how it's working for me. But it hits different when that phone hang up, or when you want to go somewhere and it's like there's literally nobody available to go with you, not because you don't feel safe, but it's just you want to share in this moment with somebody and you can't. Especially when you make certain moves, like me moving away to go to school, or how one of my best friends as an adult last year up and moved to Vegas, or if you because of a life event, like one of my best friends had to move to Miami, or, you know, like, or if certain things are taken off, like two of my best friends had really good advancements in their careers. One became a nurse and the other one, like, she's now getting paid by YouTube. So it's like everybody is growing and elevating into what they need to. It's still sometimes hard not to feel disconnected, or I don't want to say left behind, because I used to feel that way until I'm a big reflector. So I used to feel that way until I sat and reflected, like, just because they're moving, it doesn't mean that I'm not moving, even though I'm not moving in the direction that I want to, or at the pace that I would like to. So I had to change that mindset, edit that mindset. So, but it still can be a very lonely feeling when you and all of your friends are growing, but how you're growing is so different that it could take time away, and you being at a far distance from one another also plays a key factor. So that's a side to it. But going back to the main topic at hand, what's going on with your adult friends? Now, some people might question, well, some of the people that you named, like the first two examples I gave, they are not really your friends. Those were people that you were trying to get to know. I understand that, and I don't loosely interpret the word friend by any means necessary. But this is a multi-layered conversation. Not only am I talking from the perspective of trying to meet new people and gain friends as an adult, I'm also speaking from the perspective of the current friends that you have. So that brings me to my next point. There are some people that I have been friends with. They may not be my best friends, because we all know there's layers to that too. They may not be my best friends, but there are so many different types of people that I know, whether it's from going to college at Clark Atlanta, or being in HA2, or being an Eastern Star, whatever. There's so many people that I know, and those are big organizations. Those aren't, you know, little small, succinct look. No, they're really, really big. To see how people fade away from you, especially when it's happening all at the same time, it has made me very, not only aware, but it's also made me very uneasy. And I say that because people are really starting to show you the type of friend that they're choosing to be, or lack thereof. It's safe to say that. And what I mean by that is showing up. As a friend, you have to show up however you can. You should not feel depleted as a friend, but you should also be adult enough, because we're adults. We're not in high school no more, right? You should also be adult enough to have respect. You call this person your friend, then you need to volunteer the information on what has changed and why you are not around like you used to be. You created this shift, this difference, not the other person. So they shouldn't have to fathom or milk it out of you as to why things have changed. So if you're not taking calls like that no more, be like, hey, you know, I got some stuff going on. Not to say you got to explain it, because even though your friends should have the privilege of some type of knowledge coming from you, as an individual, you don't have to walk around explaining yourself to everybody. Your friends should have a decent understanding of you, but out of everybody in the world, your friends and your family should have that common courtesy of knowing what's going on, so they know how to show up for you, or if it's even necessary to show up at all. And that's where I'm getting to with this. Navigating adult friends has been so frustrating these past couple of years, because people are not, one, showing up, and two, communicating their intentions. I don't know if it's because they don't spend enough time with themselves, or if they're in this false reality, or if they quote unquote have outgrown me or certain types of friends. And I say that because some people, once they get a certain type of job and start making a certain type of money, they start forgetting about certain people. It's true. You feel like, I bought a new life, so I need to buy new friends. I'm not saying people don't outgrow each other. But if those people were the people that held you down before you had this particular accolade, if it's not taking away from you, why are you so quick to dismiss it and shut it out and act like it wasn't even there? So that means you were not real to begin with, or you've been brainwashed. So it's like, well, either way, I can't trust you. You know what I mean? I don't like that feeling. If I show up for you, and I've been showing up for you within reason, because our worlds don't revolve around one another, but you have to learn how to balance. But if I'm showing you in my own way that I'm here for you, I got you, and I support you, when you consistently don't reciprocate that, we have a problem. Now I have to reevaluate you and recategorize you in my life. Maybe I need to demote you from friend to associate. Maybe I need to just demote you to, oh yeah, somebody I went to school with, or that person that's in my organization. You know, that person that I met when I first got to Atlanta. Maybe I need to change your title. But you can't pick and choose when to enter and exit my life. You can't pick and choose if you're going to support me or not, because I don't give you that. I want my friends to give me what I give them. I don't ask things from my people that I don't give. So if I show you love, show me love. If I support you, support me. If I'm speaking on what's going on with me and letting you know, hey, this is what's impacting me right now, so that's going to change my availability or whatever, give me that. People be so quick to put all these memes out here on social media about how people not real and people, you know, ain't holding each other down, like they disloyal and stuff like that. Where is your mirror? You doing that too. Don't think that everything is just happening to you when you have a hand in it. You stirring the pot too, sis. You know? And what really gets me is when people choose to not show up for you, but then right around that same time, because people put everything on social media, people love telling on themselves. Thank you so much. I needed that. I needed that. The Lord gonna always reveal to you what you need to see, whether you ask for it or not. And Pop's been looking out. GJ been looking out, God and Jesus. So I'm seeing you on social media, but you ain't taking a call. I see you partying on social media, but you ain't coming to my stuff. I see you on social media, but you always so busy. You're not going to hurt my feelings when you tell me, hey, look, I know that we were really, really close before, but you know, just what I got going on in my life right now, I'm kind of just focused on surrounding myself with a lot of things that I need right now. And I know that where me and you were at, it's something that we were there, but I'm not there anymore. It's up to me whether or not I understand that or accept that. But by you saying something, at least I know, and how I take that information, that's up to me. You know what I mean? So when people, now I do understand, when people choose to disappear in your life, let them leave. I got you. I'm not talking about the people that made a clear-cut decision to just leave, even though they should say something, like my former best friend who just walked out on me 60 days after my dad died, which was 30 days after my 5-year relationship had ended. I ain't talking about that. No, you left. Bye-bye. Yeah, God bless you though. Godspeed. But love don't live here anymore. Nah, I let you leave. And I appreciated watching it because I needed to see that. I'm talking about the sometimesy people who, when it's necessary or convenient for them, they're in the friendship. Now you need to fix it. You not finna just remain tethered to me. So speak on that. You know, now when people can't show up because, oh, I gotta go to work, or I'm not gonna be in town, or I have a previous engagement that I agreed to, I completely understand. But if that's your answer every time, yeah, nah, some things ain't reasons no more. They're excuses. If you have joined a Divine Nine organization, Eastern Star Masonry, or even HA2, you know what are excuses. Yeah, I'll leave that there. Miss me with that. Miss me with that. Because you able to do this for everybody else. Make sense. Make it make sense. You can't. You fumbling with the truth. You know what I mean? And it's not fair to you or me. Just show up. Be authentic. And if showing up, and what I mean by showing up is communicate your intentions. Everything is not physical, what I'm talking about. Communicate your intentions and live off of that. If you know, okay, I'm not as communicative of a person, say that. I'm not as communicative as I used to be, and that's just where I am right now. So you may hear from me once a month. All right. I know where to put you in my life. I know if I'm just going through regular day-to-day stuff, you are not the person I need to call. But if I got random game night happening this month, I'll call you. You know what I mean? It ain't no smoke. I know how to adjust. That's the thing about like real friendships. You got to learn how to adjust. And I say this because in totality, what's going on with your adult friends, people are not adjusting. People are so quick to dismiss. Y'all might hear the birds chirping. If you do, you know, it's early that I'm doing this episode. But people are so quick to dismiss, let loose, just cast out, shut down. It's disgusting. It should not be this hard, y'all. It should not be this complicated, this exhausting, this unfair. Like, how is it that it was so much easier to maintain and obtain when we were younger versus now? We're more equipped now. Is it because we're all jaded from what we've gone through? Is it because we've woken up to the triggers and traumas of our past? Like, what is it? Because if that's the case, then there should be even more of a need for your friendships. I know I got a point. I say all that to say, I think it's very necessary to be an adult in this world and have friends that are adults. I think it's also important, if you move away from your home state, you should have friends wherever you move to. Human beings, we are a social, very interactive, emotional species. We are. I mean, some people only need that one friend. Cool, good for you. Yeah, I'm not a one friend type of person. You know what I mean? And I'm blessed to say that. I'm humbled by God ordering that for my life, where I have more than one person that I can call. I don't have 1,000 because a lot of y'all ain't got it. Y'all not reliable. Y'all don't show up, and that's okay. But the ones that I need, like, I don't care what's going on with them. If I need them, and I'm like, I need y'all to get on the plane. They gonna plan something and they're gonna get on that plane. They are. And that be a thing that we say to each other. Do I need to catch a flight? What's going on? Who we need to pull up on? I got my anchors. What's also necessary if you are moving somewhere else and you are separated from your anchors, from your roots, you still need some branches. We ain't talking about leaves. You still need some branches. You do. Because a tree is not just made up of just your roots. You need the branches. You need that in-between structure to what roots you down. Because the leaves gonna come and go. You know what I mean? I'm losing branches. Losing leaves don't matter. It happens. It's season changing. It's cyclical. But losing branches? Like, think about looking at a tree with missing branches. You look at it different, right? It look kind of dead to you. It looks decrepit. It makes that whole area look desolate, right? Because the branches help craft the shape and the intricacy of the tree. You don't see the roots. They're there and they run deep and long. But those branches that are seen, those are the things that are in front of you right then and there, that you're like, okay, this helps me get through this moment. This helps me get through that moment. You know what I mean? It's like, those are very necessary too. Grateful for my roots. That's omniscient. That's omnipotent. I'm grateful for my roots. The roots are always going to be there. But because of the distance between me and my roots, my woes, I still have to navigate this world as a single female in a whole nother state where most of the people that anchored me down are nowhere near where I am. They're very, very far away. So I need some branches. I need to reconstruct my tree. And it's been so hard to do that because people, and I'm not saying weird in a bad way, like I consider myself like a little weirdo in a good way, like how my mind works and how creative I am, or the stuff that I'm interested in and all of that. When I say weird, I'm talking about you feel it. You like, yo, you, whatever you got, I don't want it. Type of thing. Like you got the bad juju. That type of weird. People are so weird lately. I don't know if it's because they're half raised or they're on something, or they're just so blocked and jaded by whatever happened to them that they're just stuck in this mode of stupidity. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're laboring under the delusion that nothing is going on and they ain't giving this off. No, you are. Like aura, whatever you want to call it, all of that, you jacked, and I don't want no part of it. So some people are weird. Some people are so distrustful. You can't believe nothing coming out of their daggone mouth. Everything is a farce. Even them going out, if they said this event happened, it didn't happen. It's made up. Because they making it look like this really happened, but really this is how it was. Like, small note, you know how some people make it seem like they just out having this lavish time, but really they just found a good corner in the room to take a picture? Yeah, it's that. They living through the lens of social media. That stuff don't be real a lot of the time. And because when you're too busy in the moment, you ain't really got your camera out like that unless you got a hired crew, because you're too busy in the moment. And then also, people are so consumed with what they have going on, they don't know how to balance. Like, I was raised by parents that even though they spent a lot of time with each other, they had their own separate groups of friends, and then they had their own mutual friends. And they just divided their time accordingly. When it was family time, it's family time. But when my mama or daddy would want to be outside, they're outside. I called my mama the other day because my daddy is outside in heaven. He up there frolicking with all the greats up there. I called my mama the other day. As soon as she picked up the phone, all you heard was she was rapping Little Kim. I'm like, where you at? And I hear her in the background in between rapping Little Kim. She asking people, do you need an Uber? Did you have too much to drink? I'm like, my mom is outside. I'm not even outside. Mama got a life too. So if my mom and my dad can show me that being married, they had a kid at a young age, well, they had their firstborn at a young age, and they can still go outside, have their friends, hang out with their siblings, hang out and do stuff together with their mutual friends and stuff. Why can't y'all do it? Y'all can, but why aren't you doing it? Like, why are you so consumed with everything else that you don't have time for the valuable friendships that helped you get to the point that you're at? Make that make sense to me. Especially when you're giving that time to new people. Like, one of my friends is not a good communicator. And we understand that. You always been that type of person. But then you got another friend that is not in my best friend circle. You have another friend that you always were communicating. And I'm talking about somebody I met in Atlanta. You used to be a really big communicator, but now it's hard to get a hold of this person, but you be outside because you put it on social media. You telling yourself, just stand on your business. Stand on your business and be like, yeah, where I'm at right now, we just not, you know. And you don't have to say things in a bad way. Like, your honesty does not have to be brutal, right? But still speak up on it. Stand on your business. Tell people how you showing up. Your world gonna look a lot different when you are intentional about what you do. Stop leaving little breadcrumbs expecting people to figure everything out for you. It's not gonna happen. That's why you're having the problems that you having. Yeah, people needed to hear that. You wonder why every time you go home, you questioning who's in your life and why you don't feel safe and why you don't feel secure and why you don't feel understood. Look at what you're doing. Look at how you contributing to that. Look at the people that you choosing to count out of your life for reasons unknown. It's unbeknownst to us. We don't know. We're not in your head. You're not letting anybody get in there, or your heart, or your space. That's a very lonely place to be when you lonely by choice. Why would you want that? I don't get it. But then you got this woe is me when something happens to you. Well, your friends tried to be there. And a friend, people got their limits. People gonna get tired of trying to be seen. Because when you sit back and think about it, you shouldn't have to try to be seen in your friendships. You shouldn't. I'm grateful that my roots don't require presence. It don't matter if we go a couple days without talking or whatever the case may be. We know we have a commitment to one another. I'm still going to do what I can. People going to do what they want to do. I'm still going to do what I can to show this person that I'm there for them, even if we're not in person. And I'm grateful for that, like I've been saying this whole time. But your girl would also like to enjoy the time that I have here when I'm not around my roots. I don't want to just be limited. And I'm talking about my social life. I'm not just trying to be limited to only being able to interact with my friends through the phone, or when I go back home to Chicago to visit, or when I go to Miami to visit. I want to still have some things to do and some people to connect with where I live. That makes sense. I don't want to just be this hermit or just hanging out with dudes all the time, or hanging out with my brother all the time, or trying to squeeze in with my auntie and see what she doing. I want my own social life. Whether it's off the strength of the organizations I'm in or not, I want to hang out with people that I identify with. And it has been so hard doing that. And I don't know why. I'm not saying that, it's just like a lot of drama and chaos and confusion. No, because then I would have to look at me for that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just even getting acquainted and starting conversations with people and being able to meet up with them and share in that space has been so difficult lately, because people are intentionally making themselves unavailable, or they are putting so many elements of criteria into play in order to just get in the room. It doesn't make sense. It's like, who do you think you are? You're just a human like me. It don't matter what you pull up in, what you go home to, what your bank account look like, your status, your followers. Like, all that really is people who just like to be nosy on what you got going on. And sometimes you don't want all them eyes on you. You make you vulnerable. A good target. You know what I mean? But aside from that, who do you think you are? Like, don't base your life off of that. Like having certain types, like, oh, I only want friends with this type of whatever status or whatever it is. Because some people, and I'm speaking on this because these are the types of people that I have run into. Like that girl that was drunk. You were so hard to please. And I'm not saying I had to please her. I'm saying when I said everywhere we went, she just was dissatisfied. It's like whatever you searching for, sis, you're not going to find it in these buildings. You got to look within you. And maybe that's why it's been difficult for me to really find the right group of people, especially women, to hang out with on a regular basis, because maybe a lot of people are not doing self-therapy. They're not dedicating quality time to pouring into themselves, learning themselves, understanding themselves, working on themselves like I have. Maybe that's why. Maybe me not having these people around me that I envision in my mind, that I try to manifest to come to me, maybe they're not here yet, because God is like, yeah, you need only good. Because if anybody come in your life right now, just based on you desiring their arrival and their presence, it's not going to be good for you. That's how I'm taking it, because I'm not a negative person. I'm not the type of person that puts out anything that takes away from the people in my circle. No one can say that Tatyana is this. Y'all hear my dog. No one can say that Tatyana is the type of person that depletes from my life. You can't say that. So be that as it may, I still find these situations where I end up solo dolo. So because I looked at myself first and I made sure that I held myself accountable and was very objective in my analysis, I'm like, okay, it is not me for real. It really isn't me. I'm a good person. I try to be understanding and think outside the box and do new things. I try to meet people in different ways and in different settings. Okay, it's not me. It's them. Okay, why is it them? Now let me understand that. Talk to God about it. Okay. Am I fully in agreement with what's going on? No, because what does that still do? It leaves me in a position where I'm limited socially. Not as far as my skills, but being able to be sociable with other people who are willing to receive that. Because everybody else is out here doing it. And I'm not comparing my life to other people, but I have eyes. I see it. You have, like, my neighbor goes out, hangs out with her girls. You know what I mean? Like, it's out here. It's happening. So I'm like, okay. This service it can't be applied over here too? Not yet? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep working on that and keep hoping for it, because I know I deserve to be able to expand that particular category of my life. We all have different level categories, whether it's spiritual, work related, your creative hobbies, your family, your love life. We all have different categories. One of those categories for me is having a social life. I like to be outside. I like to do things. I like to interact with people. I'm a people person. I'm an introverted extrovert, because I do like my me time too. So my therapist, she told me something valuable. She said, things are going to kind of feel out of balance when one of your categories is lacking in your cup, because all of those things, you know, jumbled together helps fill up your cup, right? You got space in your cup for, like I said, the family, the job, the hobby, the whatever, the love life, whatever. You also have that social life component. So when your other ones are full and one category is not, you looking like, this is out of whack, this is out of balance. Because in order for my cup to be full, all my levels need to be in certain spaces. And it's not to say that everything has to be at the exact level, because it depends on what the situation is warranting. If right now what I need to focus more on is my job category, that's what that is. Or if it's right now my family needs more of my time, cool. You can take from other categories and pour and add and contribute over. But when one category is just completely depleted, and you're trying to refill. It's kind of like if you need salt in something, but you only have sugar. I can't keep filling sugar in this thing that requires salt. So I'm missing the salt in my social life. I am. And I want some salt. I don't care if it's Himalayan, kosher, iodized. I need some salt in my social life, because I still want to be able to embrace and celebrate my youth in this beautiful city. There's so many things to do here, and it gets blah when you look over and you like, wasn't that fun? And there was nobody there. And I'm not saying this to sound like I'm just this miserable person. No, I know how to have a good old time by myself. And that's not to say that I don't have some friends here. Like, I do. But when it seems like everybody sync up and get busy at the same time, I'm like, I'm blue. I'm so blue. So in those moments where I don't feel like being by myself, and all of my associates and my branch friends that are in town are not available because they've been synced up somehow, I want to have something to counterbalance that. And because I want it, that's fair for me. Yeah. Like, being left alone to your thoughts all the time is not something, well, to my thoughts all the time, is not something that I want. Sometimes I want to share intellect with other people. That helps me grow. That helps fill me, being able to relate and talk to other people. And that's another reason why I got back into doing my podcast, because I can connect with people I don't even know. I can connect with the people that are a little bit too busy because our schedules are not in alignment. So now you're able to hear from me while you working out, while you at work, while you doing your daily rituals or whatever. So I say that to say, if you have been feeling what I have been feeling, or if you have experienced it, just know it's not a one and done thing on your effort. You have to keep trying for stuff like that, because people are constantly moving and changing and evolving just like you are. So don't give up on trying to figure out how to expand and fill your cup with your social category. It's so worth it, because some of the people that I have met, like I've met guys and stuff like that, and then their female friends and stuff, and it's like, dang, they showing up more for me than people I've known in the past couple years. I'm like, okay, cool. That's some progress. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not there yet where I have a solid group of female friends down here in Atlanta that we routinely hang out. Not yet. But that's also a mindset thing. Continuing to condition my mind and manifest that when I'm talking to God, because what we say is part of what happens to us. Like, it's gonna come, but it's gonna come with the right people. I don't want no toxicity. I say toxicity in my life. I don't want anybody that comes in just to take. Got to be an even exchange, So what I was saying was my point. Finding ways to supplement where you lack. That's our own personal responsibility. Like me having this podcast, or me getting back into my art and then posting that content on social media so that people have an opportunity to connect with me and see what's going on in my world. You know what I mean? As I navigate on my own. Me finding, more things to do with my friends virtually so I can see their face. Like, every month, me and my best friends try to get together to have our wind down catch up time. Sometimes we hit it and sometimes we miss the mark, and that's okay, because life be lifing, but in between those moments with your roots, you want to still have some branches to walk out on. You know what I mean? And that's just where I am with that. So for this episode of TalktoTat, just know that adulting and navigating adult friends is something that's going to be an ongoing thing. and it's not taboo. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to what I'm saying, but just probably haven't like conceptualized it or spoke on it out loud. But you're not alone. Like, yeah, a lot of us are feeling the same way. Like, what's up with everybody? Like, where the action? Where the movement? Like, where the people that are like me at? I feel you. I promise you I feel you. You know what I mean? It's just hard, especially when you are uprooted from your place of familiarity. You decide to move away. These are not bad things. It's just, you know, now we gotta, it's kind of like when you repot a plant. You gotta get the soil right. You gotta get, you know, reacquainted and get resituated and stuff like that. And I guess that's what this is. You know, I got repotted, taken out of a collegiate environment. Now I'm in a more adult environment. And so I gotta go through that period of being refined and tweaked and fine-tuned and get used to my new pot, so that way my branches can get stronger and start growing and developing. Still got my roots though, you know. So yeah, I appreciate y'all listening to me. I know that the next episode is going to be just as relatable and in-depth as this one was. If you would like to give me your opinions, or if you have any questions, or if you have ideas on what you would like for me to talk about in upcoming episodes, please let me know. Connect with me. Don't forget, follow me on social media. My Instagram is Tatyana Monee. That's TATYANAMONEE. You can also follow me on TikTok at Tatyana_Monee, because I am, you know, getting into the talk ticking and stuff like that. If you wanted to see this content via video, I do post this on YouTube. YouTube handle is #TalktoTat. So that's hashtag TalkTotat. And you can also tune into this podcast via audio on Amazon and Apple Podcasts. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I try not to be boring or anything like that. I'm not a boring person, so that, yeah, I guess I don't have to try. Ha ha ha. So I hope you have a good day, a good week. Be blessed, be positive, continue to work on you, and find reasons to be a part of this world and connect with everybody else. Leave your mark. All right. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will check you guys later at another time.